I'm just imagining Rory going into like a new job, and it's like those those game shows where people, it's like a celebrity with an earpiece, and the presenters are like telling them what to say on the earpiece to like embarrass them. It's like Rory goes into like his first day at a new job, and his dad is like, there's a secret camera, and his dad's talking to him through an earpiece, and he's like, "Yep, shake their hand and say hello."
Welcome back to the Idiots Anonymous podcast. We're two engineers that graduated during COVID, and this is a show where we, along with our guests, take everyday life and try to make it a little bit more complicated than it originally was, granting us the title of Idiots. To start us off, my name's Rory, and I'm an idiot.
Hi, Rory.
I'm an idiot because back in the day with my old dog, I almost crushed her by jumping on top of her.
Oh my God.
Wait,
you swine.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so she was like an all black dog, and she used to sleep on my bed during the day.
Oh, no.
While I was away. So I came in after school and thought, right, straight into bed. So I jumped, the light was off. I jumped and then like in midair noticed the white of her nose.
Oh no.
And had to like barrel roll in the air and then
Matrix
just like
style.
smacking into the headboard.
Better that than the dog, my friend.
Was that the inspiration for the geometric wolf on your wall? Was that like your flat dog?
Amazing.
That's my remembers. R.I.P.
That reminds me of, the TikToks where the guy like runs into the room and just like tries to jump onto his bed and just planks in midair and misses the bed and just just like slams into the floor.
Exactly like that.
Amazing.
Okay, well, my name's Ryan and I'm also an idiot.
Hi, Ryan.
Hello there. This is a bit of a weird one. I'm an idiot this week because I purchased my first house plants maybe like in September, I think.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I was unaware of the frequency at which you have to water these plants. And so I was watering every single plant every single day. And so this ended up like everything was so moldy that the entire plant just was white. The plant pot was white, the soil was white, and I just didn't understand why.
That is disgusting.
We're not ready to be a plant father, I'll tell you that for sure.
Defo's not.
Yeah, so I'm Chris and I'm an idiot.
Hello,
Hi,
Chris.
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
This week I am an idiot because I once tried to impress a girl in high school who had just moved back to Scotland from Turkey. Was chatting away to her, like all about Turkey and stuff, and I could not remember what you called the language in Turkey. I had called her Turkish. I was like, yeah, you're Turkish. And then completely blanked and went, what did he speak in Turkey again? She's like, Turkish. I went, I genuinely was going to say Turkididian.
Turkididian!
Turkididian. You're a Turkididdy.
Sounds like a Star Wars language.
She never let me live that down. And however, ended up dating her for a couple of months, so it worked somehow.
Oh, nice one, mate.
Oh, mate, that's an absolute Turkish delight, man.
It's actually a Turkididian delight.
Did you get a wee gobble? I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
That's horrible.
Sorry. Hello, everyone. My name's Jack, and I am an idiot.
Hello, Jack.
Hi, Jack.
I'm an idiot because, well, I got a 3D printer for Christmas and I've got Alexa compatible plugs. So I set up a print and I plugged it into one of these plugs so that I can turn it off remotely when I'm not in the house so that it doesn't keep running all day.
Yes.
I thought it was a cracking idea. And I thought it was a cracking idea until I was going to bed, and I also have a lamp that is plugged in to a compatible thing. So about, 5 hours into a 7-hour print, just as I'm going to my bed, I go on my phone to turn off the lamp one, and I turn off the printer, and I wept a little bit.
Oh, you've just wasted 5 hours of your life.
And about 300 grams of plastic. But anyway.
You are the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You are the problem.
Such an engineering student problem.
It is, I know.
Totally is.
That's why I'm going to do it.
Well, since we've said hello to everyone, just want to say welcome back, Jack, and welcome, Chris, to your first episode.
Thank you.
So, seeing as it's the first week of the new year, we thought might be a good time to, reflect on the previous year And let's be real about it. Huge part of that was ye old COVID, the pandemic that kind of messed with our lives a little bit. And we thought you guys were pretty well suited to that discussion because we did the same course at university, the same year. But I think our lives have maybe diverged a little bit since then. So that might be quite a cool topic to get into.
So I can confidently say, being 2 weeks into the year, calling this a slight mishap, is that what you called it, is the understatement of the year.
It's just a slight, bump in the road. And I thought good place to start was genuinely right at the start, because obviously it hit while we were still at university. So if anyone wants to talk about how that kind of happened to us, how we realized it, how we kind of came into the world that we live in now.
Well, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, on a lovely winter's March isn't winter. A lovely spring morning, winter. A plane arrived from China.
Oh, Lord. Did you say a plane or a plague arrived from China?
Well, it's both, isn't it? It's both.
Yeah, it was a plague on a plane.
Although I feel like it was much before March. They reckon it was in the UK by December, November or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got news of it in March, right?
Yeah.
Did we not lock down in March? I remember in February we were hearing about it because we all went out for my birthday the first or second week in March.
Oh,
and that was the weekend before lockdown. We got out just before lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we went to a club the week before lockdown.
We went to a fucking sweaty Kaylee.
A sweaty dance
sweaty
club.
Kaylee. Do you remember we were all doing Kaylee dances, but like doing hand sanitizer between them? Like that was going to stop
it. I know. Not even thinking about the fact that it's the most contagious virus since influenza.
Yeah. Aye. Sorry, let's go back. That's why all four of us are idiots this week.
Aye.
Oh yeah,
spot on.
That's a great point.
Yeah, do not do that. Upon reflection,
a Kaylee is traditional Scottish dancing. So think of like dancing that you do at a school disco, where it's like boy and girl or two partners sort of dance together. Then you switch partners and do all these cool little jigs and dances and stuff.
Like a Scottish barn dance, basically.
There are multiple dances where you switch partners at least 20 times within the space of 10 minutes. And in between them, it's like, oh, hand sanitizer. In this crowded, sweaty room with no mask. You're breathing in each other's faces.
Yeah.
But you're scared about touching their hands.
And that ballroom in Sloane's has one window at the bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, we weren't really sure like what it all was, though, to be fair. Like, people were talking about it, I had a boggle idea what they were talking about.
I think that was because you were so removed from the cases, because there was at that time in March there was probably maybe like a couple of thousand cases,
100 even, couple of hundred I'd have said.
Aye, and you were so far removed from it, and you never knew anybody that had it, and then you heard about like friends getting it, family member, or like it even started, for me at least, it started like, oh, my mum was like, oh my God, Jack, somebody in South Lanarkshire has coronavirus. And I was like, shut up, really? Someone in South Lanarkshire? And then everybody got it. Not a day goes by where I don't have a conversation with somebody who says, oh, such and such tested positive. And you're like, oh, that's just part of life now, isn't it?
Yeah, but you had it too, didn't you?
I did have it, yeah. I had it.
And what was that like?
Luckily for me, I had some pretty mild symptoms. The only lasting symptoms I got was the loss of taste and smell, which took about 2 months to come back. And I still get a thing in our that we call in our family COVID eyes, and it's like you know how if you've been staying awake for like 24 hours or something, right, and you finally shut your eyes to go to sleep and it stings, but it like stings so good. You're like, what? It's like like you've got sand in your eyes, but it feels really good to close your eyes and go to sleep. Sometimes I just get waves of tiredness. Not like physical fatigue, just in my eyes, and I need to shut my eyes and like squeeze them, and it's like a sting of relief.
That's so strange.
It is weird. I was looking it up, and I think it's because it's connected to your sinuses, which is also why you lose your sense of taste, because your smell goes. It's just your sinus does something that dries out your eyes. But otherwise, we were all healthy and fine.
Yeah. But when it originally started, we were still in uni quite often, and our course kind of required like a like a social space is usually where you'd be working. But Kris, were you one of the first ones to just decide to stay home?
No, I was defiantly like trying my best to stay in as much as possible.
Yeah, me too.
Because like I had done deadlines previously, doing a lot of them from home, and then so when COVID hit, we were in our 5th year of our masters, which is how it works in Scotland. You can do an integrated masters, and it's just one extra year, as opposed to it kind of works the same in England because you would do your 3-year
an
degree
extra
and then
whole 2 year.
yeah. So rather than doing a full 2-year postgrad masters, you can just do a 1-year integrated. And in our 4th year honours year, I remember me and Ryan and 2 of our other friends had decided to do it in the studio, and we're like meeting every single day in the studio. And it just was so much better for morale getting through those deadlines because they're pretty hefty projects you do. And so I was determined that I was going to do that again this year because it was so much better for my mental health. It was so much better for like getting through it. And I really wanted
And
to stay in the studio
as well, I think.
Maybe not, because we were skating about like on little stools in the studio. We were playing like human curling. It was great fun.
Oh God, remember that?
We were like jumping on these stools with wheels on them, and just like flying down the corridor at 3:00 in the morning.
Sick.
The day COVID really hit me in the studio was so our whole final year of 5th year, we got into this routine of like people who would be in the studio all day, like every day of the week, and we would come in every morning. We would all come in at different times, but every time someone would arrive, they would give everyone a big hug. So we'd go around like everyone in our little friend group and go, "Good morning, Emma," big hug. "Good morning, Ryan," big hug. And it was the day that Emma came in and said, this is passed on by touching people. We should probably stop touching. We like hugging each other every morning. That's when COVID hit me. That's when I was like, holy shit, this is real. I don't get my morning hugs anymore. I think that is the last time I hugged someone that wasn't like my direct family member.
That's just scary.
It will be, yeah.
Yeah, 9 months ago.
Oh boy. And from that time onwards, so I remember people started dropping off, like just not coming to uni anymore. And I remember I had a really hard time working from home. I just didn't get anything done. I couldn't do it. My house was really noisy. There's loads of stuff going on. I didn't have a desk or a workspace at home.
I'm the exact same.
And so I was so much more productive at uni. I've got a desk. It's a work environment. And so I was just coming in every day, and the roads were this is before lockdown, and the roads were getting quieter every single day as offices shut prematurely, as other universities shut prematurely. And then the studio, people started not appearing until eventually it was literally just me for the full day on it. I think it was like the Wednesday and Thursday. It was just me. And I think, Jack, you came in briefly. I was like, oh, hiya. And we were socially distanced. And I remember that vividly because you were in on a different floor doing 3D printing or whatever it was.
I think I remember that.
And then Daniel, one of our other friends, was doing the same thing, and I briefly passed him. And then one of the lecturers came in, looking around the studio, and the place was just deserted except me. And they were like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Well, it's not shut. If you didn't want me here, then you should have closed the doors." And they were like, "Yeah, it's probably going to be closed tomorrow." And then, that night at like 9 p.m, an email came out. It's like, "Don't come back," basically. And then the lockdown was on 2 days later.
Yeah. I tried to come in like a few times because I can't really work in my flat. But then when they were like, "Yeah, we might be locking down," I was like, right, I'm grabbing my stuff and I'm going back to the family home. So I have someone that isn't my flatmate at the time who was just a bit weird. I was like, if I'm locked down with him,
Understatement.
I'm gonna commit a murder or a suicide. One of the two. Someone's dying in that flat if I'm staying.
Yeah.
You better hope he's not one of your fans.
No, sorry, mate, if you're listening.
I know. You know who you are.
Imagine.
You better hope he's not one of your 20 listeners.
That would be
20 if we even have that.
That would be a wild statistic if it was.
Yeah. So you ran back to Castle Cullen.
Yeah, which I kind of did for big projects most of the time anyway. So I feel like
So your dad could do them for you, yeah.
Are you really gonna make the only joke
so
that
for everybody who
cuts me to my
does
core?
not know this about Rory, who is listening. His dad builds all of his prototypes for him.
It's genuinely the only joke that actually hurts, because I spend hours on stuff and they go, "Nah, your dad built it anyway." And it just like hits me right in the chest like a shotgun
I think he helped you with like one thing. I think he helped you with like one thing. Like you used.
He likes building stuff, so
Aye.
he would be around to go, "You can use this tool." I'm like, "Cool. Where is that in amongst this massive pile of tools you have in the garage?
Mm-hmm.
Most of which will give me tetanus."
That's nice here, Dad. Rory, you can use my hammer. Rory, you can use the prototype I built for you here.
I'm just imagining Rory going into like a new job, and it's like those those game shows where people, it's like a celebrity with an earpiece, and the presenters are like telling them what to say on the earpiece to like embarrass them. It's like Rory goes into like his first day at a new job, and his dad is like, there's a secret camera, and his dad's talking to him through an earpiece, and he's like, "Yep, shake their hand and say hello."
I mean, it is the human connection aspect more than anything else I need to help with, to be honest.
So funny.
Don't say weird.
Yeah.
But I'll just remind you guys now, if you want to make any more shots, I edit this podcast, all right? I can ruin the lot of you.
I was just going to say for our listeners, Rory edits this podcast and I can guarantee you'll edit this out.
I know. Or no, Rudy's gonna string that series of syllables together, and it's going to be me going, "I like."
Right.
No, that is the most broken I've ever seen you, Rory, when we made that joke. When you come back in, because we hadn't seen you for the best part of like 2 months in fourth year, and then you come back in with this, what can only be described as a green coffin that fired out frisbees.
Christ, that was a weapon, by the way.
That was huge. You could honestly have like smuggled folk across the French border during Brexit and that thing.
It was very eye-catching, so probably not.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't have done it that well.
I spent a lot of time on all the work, so I was like, "Oh, don't do that. Don't say horrible things to me."
Yeah.
And you always have some kind of comeback, even if it's just a weird comment. And we said that joke, and you just looked like a shell of a man staring into space, like,
But yeah, that work style of just being at home and powering through was kind of my thing. But I guess it might be a bit different for you guys. Just kind of like when unis didn't know how to kind of react to this thing.
Yeah.
So most of the time you didn't necessarily get lecturer support. I mean, me personally, I didn't really ask for it much anyway. I kind of talked through stuff with other people and it made life a bit easier. But I never really contacted advisors or lecture heads or whatever. So I was okay, but I know a lot of people kind of struggled a little bit.
I think I'm on the same boat as you, Rory, because we had an advisor for industrial that we had to meet every week, which was Ian, who was great. But for all my other personal advisors, I just stopped emailing them, and like they were busy enough, they wouldn't email me back and be like, "Do you need help?" So like,
yeah,
I just kind of
it's not like anyone's checking in on you, like over email.
Can't sympathise with that, because we all know who my advisor was, and my advisor was like not only my advisor, he advised our entire friend group because he was just an absolute class gentleman.
Oh, he was a G.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely. He knows who he is.
If you're listening,
yeah, you know who you are.
And so we had a month and a half of working from home. During full lockdown, that was the time where it was like one exercise per day. So we were all working on the tail end of our master's projects from home, working out, A, how do I work from home again? And B, how do I complete this fucking master's project at the same time? And then we managed to get through it and graduation.
Oh,
yeah.
R.I.P.
Just before we moved on to graduation, in all honesty, that period of my life, lockdown didn't hit me at that point, because that's how I had prepared myself for spending my March and April anyway. Like, I was fully prepped for spending all my hours indoors, not seeing daylight other than through a window. Like, I was prepared for that. So the first lockdown really didn't affect me as much. Like, it was hard. It was hard in the sense of like finishing my degree and all that kind of stuff. But like, actually, everyone else's perception of lockdown, like struggling with not going outside the house, that didn't affect me as much. I don't know about you guys.
I think probably for the first 2 months, you're right, because we were going to be so busy anyway.
Yeah, we had so much to do, like inside the house, that it wasn't that big a deal.
Yeah, there's so much on your plate that you couldn't really focus on like what was going on outside, regardless of whether there was a lockdown or not. The most frustrating thing for me was we got to May and we handed everything in, and there wasn't the cathartic experience of dropping paper into a box
Yeah.
in the submission box, or like giving it to the admin team and then going, right, let's
to
go
to
and
the pub.
yeah, absolutely, and let's go and celebrate.
Yeah.
And kind of like, you know, walk the halls of the place that gave you your education and stuff. I was gutted at that. And then obviously after it, when I didn't have anything to do, I was like, well, I just want to go and do fun activities with my pals, and I can't.
And then we had graduation, or lack thereof, even, you know. This is the point we've all been looking forward to for 5 years. You get to wear that big fancy gown and the weird hat, throw it up in the air, get a picture, go get steaming, and then boom, it's symbolic, isn't it?
Yeah,
and then
we
just
didn't get a graduation, we got a saduation.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's so sad. I mean, our department were quite nice because it's quite a small one that they
Yeah.
were like, oh, come on for a Zoom chat. And I think a total of, 10
It
people?
was literally our friend
less
group
than
plus
that.
one or two
Yeah.
other stragglers. That was it.
Yeah.
We got a personalised video.
I think that's maybe how they also dished out the awards. Like, who joined that meeting? Oh, you can get an award. You can get an award.
Only the true fans.
Yeah.
Have any of yous had your certificate yet? That's what I want to know.
No.
No. No one has.
Admin staff can't get into the uni, so they can't print them.
Oh, is
It's a
that
very special scroll printer that they've got, mate.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I get it's because they have to. I think they use this very specific type of printer, genuinely, so
Yeah.
that you can't.
It's like
Copy it
Hogwarts.
particularly well.
It needs to get like stamped by wax. It needs to get delivered by an owl. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Honestly, if mine doesn't come with an owl, I'm going to be pretty raging about it at this point.
if yours doesn't come? What?
By owl.
All
Like,
right.
I expect one day to in Snow White when she opens up the window and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to do that, but I want like an owl to come out of absolutely nowhere and come smashing through my window.
I
Go,
want
"There's your
a
degree."
bald eagle with an olive branch in one hand and my certificate as a scroll wrapped in ribbon in the other one. And I want it to do a majestic echoing like caw. That's what I want.
Yeah, and if they haven't dipped it with the tea bag to make it look aged, like you used to do in primary school, then I'm going to be raging.
Yeah. Dipped it in tea bag. That's what I want.
I mean, I guess it wasn't just graduation because I think a couple of us had planned to do a couple of trips. Was it North Coast 500, Chris, that we were thinking of doing?
Yeah, me, you, and Ryan, I know, had spoke about doing the North Coast 500. Me and our friend Emma had talked about doing a road trip through Europe, or like interrailing. We were still ironing out the details of it, and then COVID hit. We were like, well, that's not
So you
happening.
did?
Well,
So you did. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I had so many plans planned, and COVID just like shafted them all. To make COVID an analogy in my life, like, you know, when you drive along a road and you don't see a pothole coming because it's too dark, and then you hit the pothole and you're like, oh crap, I bet you that's ruined my wheel.
Yeah.
In COVID terms, like, if COVID were a pothole, it'd be the Grand Canyon. Like, you wouldn't see it coming,
Aye.
and then you just like, bam, just fall into this epitome.
You're just driving along the desert. You don't see the Grand Canyon coming along, and you drive off the edge, and it's so deep that you're still falling 9
Yeah.
months later.
Absolutely. That is COVID.
as a pothole.
And
I
your
bet
sat
the
nav just
impact-
has
Sorry, Chris, on you go.
your sat nav is just Bill Gates' voice where he just went, "There's a pothole ahead," and no one listened to him. And then you hit it.
I know. If you're talking about falling down the Grand Canyon as COVID, I bet the impact is just something like, I just feel like there is worse news to come. I feel like they're going to do something with the vaccine that is like, I feel like there's going to be some horrible news in May, and they'll be like, right, so we decided to extend it from 4 weeks between doses to 12 weeks, and we've wasted 65
Yeah.
million vaccines, so we're starting again.
Yeah, someone was talking about that today at work, and it's the first time I've thought about it as well. It's like they're extending the gap between the two doses. Like,
Mhm.
what if it's no longer effective when they inject the second dose? Then you've just wasted all of those ones. Have you
Yep.
seen the Netflix special about 2020?
I've been meaning to
No, I've
watch
not
it.
watched it yet.
So I saw it on Netflix come up, and I was like, "Oh, this looks lame. This looks like one of those cheap sort of Netflix productions." But it's actually by the people who made Black Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
It doesn't really look that appealing. You look at it, and it's like, can't be arsed watching more about 2020, but highly recommend it. It's absolutely hilarious.
I also thought it was going to be a rubbish one, and then I watched the trailer and I saw Samuel L. Jackson. I was like, well, you know it's going to be all right, at least if he's in it.
And they have a thing in the credits scene, and they say, "Thank you so much for taking part in the interview about 2020. It looks like we're going to be doing another one about 2021. Do you mind like pre-recording some statements that we can use in next year?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, okay." So all the statements are just on that piece of paper. They're like, okay. And then like the second statement they have to read is, "There is no way we could have known what the vaccine would do to us."
Oh, no.
That's hilarious.
and then it goes off on a tangent, and then it comes back and it's like, "And how will we use these new powers?"
That's hilarious.
Honestly, that's what all these like middle-aged moz who are fucking hairdressers on my Facebook keep like posting up about. Like, you just don't know what that vaccine's going to do to you. I could grow a third arm. And then they'll put this big rant up about I could grow a third arm for that vaccine. The Tory party wouldn't care. They'd be like, retrain, become a dishwasher, 3 arms would help you with that. But they'll all like rant about this. I mean, this could affect my fertility. Who knows? So like, I've spoke to so many pals who work in immunology, work in creating vaccines, and they're like, bullshit, like it's absolutely fine. They don't test for things like that. The only reason they would test for things like that is if they even had a slight hint that it would. And the reason that the vaccine information says do not give to pregnant people is because they never give new vaccines to pregnant people, because it would be an absolute uproar if it affected unborn children, because it wasn't their choice to get the vaccine. But on the same note, I've seen so many people posting up being like, I'm not getting this, it might affect my ability of kids. However, see if it means I can't get to Barbados by the end of this year, I'll be taking it.
That's hilarious. I saw something really funny, and it's like the people who are like, they're putting and let's be honest, these people are American, they're putting microchips in the vaccine. You're like, you are not worth the $700 trillion it would cost to invest in nanotechnology just to know your location, mate. That's not what's happening.
I think everyone's takes on the vaccine are all pretty weird. But you know what else is kind of weird?
What?
Our habits. And that takes us into our first segment. So this segment I came up with just to find out what absolute weirdos you guys are.
Cool.
So
Nice.
what we'll do is we'll each say a weird habit one of us might have that, it's just something you do, not necessarily all the time, but occasionally. And we'll have a vote in amongst ourselves whether you're an absolute cretin or it's acceptable. And those are the only two. You're the worst or you're all right. And that's it.
Right.
Okay.
So nobody's the best, is that what you're saying?
No, we're not good people, but I think we knew that when we started this anyway.
Okay.
So I thought we'll start with the person I know is the absolute weirdest, and that's Jack. He is the weirdest.
I'll take it. Right. I'm just gonna say it, and then I'm gonna let you react.
That's how the game works.
Right, hilarious. I eat an orange in the shower every morning.
What? No. You have to be joking.
Right.
You have to be joking.
I'm not joking.
Why? Tell me why.
Because it is sensory overload, right? Honest, this is one of these things that like kind of gets me up in the morning, right? So you get up.
You're going to say, "Can I get me hard?"
Oh, hey no. No. You get up, you get awake, and I'm not very good at waking up early. So I'm all groggy. I'm like, I get my orange, I go into the shower, get the shower nice and hot, right? Just peel the orange and just drop the skins on the floor.
And
my
the
shower
shower?
my shower smells incredible by the time I'm peeled my orange, right?
Uh-huh.
And there's something just so amazing about being surrounded by like hot water vapour and hot water dripping on your face and taking a bite of an orange. Don't take the segments out, just bite
Eat
the
it
orange
like an apple.
and have orange just like run down your cell.
Oh my God.
And it's part of my breakfast. It's like being in like a tropical paradise.
Yeah.
It just makes the orange taste nicer. It makes you feel good. It wakes you up. Your shower smells unbelievable. You come out smelling like fruit.
Is this something that you came up with yourself? Or is
No.
this...
No, this is something that I saw.
I know where he got this from. You ever watch those Herbal Essence adverts where you see a woman in the shower and she's just got like bits of fruit flying past her? Jack's watched that and went, that's the ticket. That's what I need in my shower. Look,
That
she's
is so
eating fruit,
funny.
so can I.
That's hilarious.
Eat an orange because you're worth it.
Exactly. No, I read it somewhere or I saw it somewhere. I can't remember. I went, that's ridiculous. But I love oranges and I take showers, so I'll give it a go. Haven't looked back since. I don't do it every morning, but if I'm feeling particularly good about myself or I'm feeling like I'm struggling to get up, or honestly, if I've got nothing to do, I hop in the shower and bring an orange with me.
So I'm imagining, like, you know how in hotel showers and in like gym showers they have like the shampoo dispenser on the wall, like in the shower. I'm imagining like a Pez dispenser filled with oranges mounted to your shower wall, and you just like, you know, you press it in and it just like pops out an orange.
That was I have questions, and that was going to be one of them. Like, question one is, do you take it into the shower to peel it because the steam makes it easier to peel?
Good question. I've not noticed any difference in resistance to the
From
skin.
what Jack was just saying, that is not the reason at all.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't mean is that the reason he takes the orange in, but I was asking does he peel it once he's in the shower because it makes it easier? Like, why does he not peel it before he gets in the shower? And I
Because
think
it smells good. Because it's like a hot, steamy shower.
So you can rub the peels all over your body.
Yeah, exactly. But you've never ever been able to, like, usually you peel the orange right and you're holding all the peels in one hand as you do it and you're fiddling about, or you put them on the table and you put them down gently, or you put them in a bin. I've never peeled an orange and just went and just dropped it. And there's just something really nice about doing that. Also, I really like oranges, so maybe that's why I enjoy
Yeah,
it.
maybe
so
that's a reason.
my other question was kind of relating to Ryan. Like, do you have a bowl of oranges in your bathroom, or do you like go down to the kitchen and be like, I'm sorry for a shower, and grab an orange?
No, I've never done that. No, I don't know. Sometimes I'll go downstairs in the morning, sometimes I'll bring one up at night.
This is for tomorrow morning.
I'll see you later.
Okay, I have one very quick question about it. Do your family know you do this? Like, does your mum come
No.
into the bathroom and go, for fuck's sake, Jack, you've left your orange peel in the shower again?
Never told. I think I brought it up a while ago, and then we kind of just brushed it off.
Everybody was like, and do you know why the bathroom stinks of oranges all the time?
But it doesn't. But nobody would notice though. It's not like it smells so orangey. It's just like it smells nice.
Oh, it smells nice and citrusy in here. It must be
Exactly,
that new
like,
air
it's like
freshener. Yeah.
Citrus body wash or something. Nobody. It's not that overpowering. It's just a nice natural smell.
Right, votes.
Okay.
Yeah, votes. Enough discussion. Your votes options are cretin or all right.
I'm going to say all right.
I'm gonna go all right. You're embracing who you are.
I like it.
No, I think I'm going to go cretin on this one, team. That is really, really weird, and I think that's the kind of thing I've always pictured Jack becoming a superstar, and I think that'd be the weird thing that like the hotel staff would be like, do you know that Jack Anderson's asked us to deliver like a sack of oranges to his bathroom? He's having a bath in orange juice right now. It's just escalated over the years. You just get the hotel kettle boiling orange juice to put it in his bath.
I'm just saying, right? Don't knock it until you try it.
Chris, if you thought that was really weird, you're gonna have to like hit us with yours.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think mine's as weird as that. I'll let you. Obviously, you guys are going to decide. So, I am a spectacle wearer. I hate wearing my spectacles because shut up. Shut it, Ginger.
Four
So
eyes.
I wear specs, and I don't like wearing my specs because, as you guys will know, I should be legally blind. I think I have a +8 and a +9 in each eye, which is massive for a prescription. So it makes my eyes look like they're in a fishbowl. My eyes are huge.
Yeah.
So I don't like wearing my specs. So I like to wear contacts. However, I have an issue in the car where when I'm driving, when I have the aircon on, it really dries my eyes out. Like it's really difficult to drive with your contacts in, especially if it's in the winter. So I have a pair of non-prescription glasses to wear over my contacts when I'm driving so that my eyes don't get dry. I don't like wearing my specs, generally. like when I'm out day to day, when I'm at work, all that kind of stuff, because I prefer to have like 360, like not 360, but like not just have framed vision. But my issue is the aircon dries out my contacts and it gives me really dry eyes. So my eyes go all red. So I have a pair of specs that aren't prescription that I put on when I'm driving with the aircon on so that they don't dry out my eyes.
Oh, that's reasonable.
And the idea came to me because I used to wear my sunglasses in the summer and I don't get dry eyes when I'm in the car when I've got the aircon on.
Nope, that's absolutely fine. You're okay,
That's
mate.
fine.
Yeah.
That's not weird.
Oh,
That's just
right, okay.
All right.
That's just
Resourceful.
resourceful. Yeah,
Fair.
that's the word.
Right.
Mhm.
I did
you go.
have a reserve weird thing if that's not weird enough, if you'd prefer that one. But it's up to you. If you want to take that one out, go for this one.
Oh, that wasn't the real one. I actually poo in the sink.
Me at my master's project. Oh, this isn't a new one. This is a joke one that I thought was funny.
No, that was my pal. My friend said that.
No, it's up to you. We can move on, or I can do my other one. You can delete that one out.
Give us it in 10 words and we will vote instantly weird or cretin with no justification.
Okay. I have now developed a habit of I need to watch the ASMR barber videos before I go to sleep every night.
Cretin, absolute cretin.
Oh, that's
Only-
cretin.
No,
Cretin.
not all of them. Not like I don't.
I
watch
said
the
10
ones,
words. Cretin.
Not the ones with people eating fruit and all that. Just the barbering ones. Just the ones with people getting their hair cut or getting shaved.
What?
Nothing
Cretin.
nothing weird like fruit or anything, just the sound of people's hair getting cut off.
They are so therapeutic.
Mate, that's mental.
They're so therapeutic. I saw one in
No.
Lad Bible and like, do you ever get like, see that ASMR feeling of like your tingly goosebumps? That, and it was amazing. And I've watched them ever since. I watch them all the time.
Nope,
Oh.
cretin. Cretin, unanimously cretin.
Yeah.
Right, Ryan.
Yeah, so mine is I've got 3 here, so I'm just gonna go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. None of mine are really that weird. The one that people might frown at is so I love pie and beans. Just any type of pie, Scotch pie, mince pie,
Curry
anything,
pie.
and beans, and it's just my favourite food, right? So what I do is I microwave. So I get a pie in a bowl and then fill the bowl with beans. So it's like, imagine a bowl filled with baked beans to the brim with a pie in amongst it.
Oh,
I do that.
No.
I do that.
And then I microwave it for 4 minutes. And then I get a fork and I mix it all together, like
Cretin,
just
cretin,
destroy the pie.
Oh no.
Like
Cretin.
instead of eating the pie like normally, I mush up the pie and the beans all together, so it's basically like just lumpy poop.
You're a joke. Put it
And
in
it's
a
the
blender or
best
something.
thing ever.
I was with you for a minute. I put my beans in the microwave and put my pie in the oven, and then I just sit it on top, and that's how I eat it. But you lost me at mixing. That's surely not okay. But yeah, I vote cretin purely on the mixing.
Cretin.
I also vote cretin. Too many
I
beans.
think you just need to try it. Try it out. Give it a bash.
I think you just need to try therapy.
Baked beans is the best flavour.
The weird thing about it for me is, right, is that you have a deep bowl of beans.
Yeah.
You put a pie in it. That's disgusting. That's not how
No,
you
I put,
cook a
I
pie.
put the pie in first, mate. I'm not an idiot.
So you put the pie in and then you
Yeah.
cover the pie in beans.
Yeah, till the pie is no longer visible.
Disgusting.
No, that's fair.
Nope.
With that, it's the mixing. It's the only thing I have the problem with.
Right, Rory, what's yours?
Yeah. To catch us up on what I didn't expect to be the longest segment of all time, I'll keep it quick, right? I don't want to know if I'm a cretin. I don't want to know if I'm normal. I just want each of you one at a time to tell me if you also do this.
Right.
That's it. Sometimes I piss in the shower.
Yeah.
No, I do not do that, and I detest everyone that does, so I'm just going to go.
I have done it when I was a kid, but
Do
not
it all the
recently.
time.
So I would vote cretin.
Probably every shower. Every shower.
That's where my oranges are.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, don't mix that.
Mate, don't piss on your orange peels. God.
Piss in the drain, nice and simple, easy. We'll move on. Back to the topic at hand, COVID. So, in lockdown, what did you guys do to pass the time? Do you have any particular hobbies? Or were you just waiting for that next pub quiz on Zoom?
So because we were so preoccupied with university and just being busy at all times, I re-embraced my inner gamer and played Call of Duty Warzone every single day. It was like wake up at 12, go for a walk, play Warzone from 3 p.m. until I go to sleep for weeks. Oh, and I also met my girlfriend.
Oh, aye, that's right.
Polar opposites, the type of person. I play games every day, but also I get ladies.
Yeah, mate. Well, she also plays games, but that's not how we met. What about you guys?
What even did I do in the first lockdown? Oh, well, Katie came over. Katie, my girlfriend from America, who lives in America, managed to come over before quarantine managed to come over before the mandatory 2-week self-isolation period. So she just got a test and showed them her negative test at the gate. And they were like, yeah, we don't care, just come in. And yeah, she didn't have any commitments at home, obviously, because everything in America was progressively getting more and more messed up. And she stayed here for 2 months. So that was incredible. Couldn't have hoped for anything better in that regard.
That's pretty sick.
So we read books and watched TV and went walks. That's about it.
Cool.
It's like married life before you even close to getting married.
Oh, I forgot about a big thing. I went to Amsterdam.
So you did.
So you did.
Yeah.
What was it like? Like, because it was, when was it? August?
It was. I think we went on the 30th of July and came back on like the 2nd or 3rd of August.
Right.
And during that period, all the restaurants in the UK, everything was open. Like all the restaurants were open, bars were open. You just have to book and socially distance and whatnot. Totally fine. That was before the curfew, before everything. So because of that, we were like, okay, let's book to go to Amsterdam. So we booked it like a month in advance. And when we got there, because in the UK it was mandatory to wear face masks anytime you went into like a shop or a bar or anything if you're walking around indoors. And in the Netherlands, it just absolutely was not. So
wow.
And it was really, really, really busy. There was crowds of people on the street. It was like normal tourist season. It was not any more quiet than usual. And we were the only people, there was 3 of us, and we were the only people who were wearing face masks when we went into shops and stuff. And people were looking at us like, what are you doing? What is that? Like looking at us funny. You know, it was so strange.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah. I felt scared at times because other people had no respect for social distancing and sanitizing and not touching the same stuff and personal space and whatnot. But yeah, everything was open. It was fine. It was cool. It was awesome. And it was absolutely scorching. It was like 30 degrees.
I can imagine social distancing and sanitizing in the red light district's pretty rough in Amsterdam.
Do you know what? That actually opened up very early. It opened up at like on the 1st of June or something like that. All the sex industry opened back up.
It's a basic human necessity, Ryan, right? It's like a shop, you know?
We're key workers.
I know. How do you put...
They are key workers.
How do you put sex workers on furlough? You know what I mean? Are they like self-employed? Like, you know, what's going on there?
I can't believe a porn channel hasn't been made out of that yet. Like instead of key workers, it's king key workers.
King key workers.
And Chris is like, I've been trying every day as well, been searching as much as I can, and I can't find it.
I check every single day.
So I just use barber ASMR videos instead.
Chris, what did you do? Were you more of a prep for the Zoom?
Little bit. I kind of dabbled in everything. Like, you know, everything you saw on Facebook where people were like really like focusing on one thing. I kind of dabbled in all of them. I like half-arsed quite a lot of things. I didn't really full arse anything. I did a bit of painting. I did a bit of gardening. Did a bit of exercising. Went a couple of cycles with your man Ryan here.
Oh yes, that's right.
Went a couple of nice wee bike rides together. Mostly, to be honest, like I knew I was moving down to start my grad job, so a lot of my time was like prepping for that, to be honest, like finding flats, sorting out letting agreements, and
of course,
like tying up with my flatmate about like the logistics of moving down and all that kind of stuff. And then like before I knew it, like restrictions had started to ease a bit, and like you were allowed to visit people. So like we went on our camping trip together. Like that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I did a couple of things like that, like kind of socially distanced trips and days out with pals. And before I knew it was time to move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to go, like, while you were in it, really slow, but at the end, it was quite rapid, actually.
Again, kind of goes to, like, what I was saying earlier, proper lockdown, the first proper lockdown, we missed the majority of it because by the time we finished our deadlines in May, lockdown had kind of started to ease, and you could go out and walk with pals, and you could go and meet people in an outdoor bar, socially distanced and stuff. Like, things like that had started to open up for the summer because they were pretty confident that the hot weather was going to subdue the virus, which when you look at the graphs, it did. And like, we really didn't get the brunt of it. And it's more like, this is our first proper lockdown, and it's still not as bad as the first one was.
It's our second lockdown.
Yeah, the second lockdown we're in just now.
But so see, when everything's going so slow and you're sitting at home and, you know, it's maybe 9 o'clock at night, you've got no plans, you've got the TV on, the PlayStation on, whatever it is, and you're like, I'm so bored. Did anyone get into, Jack, you wouldn't have, but COVID dating, download Tinder or Bumble?
Yeah, I did. The sad thing is, I've gotten further with online dating in lockdown than I have in my entire life.
That's because you've got time for it now.
Oh yeah, now it's getting my full attention.
Full attention.
I've been on
Lucky ladies.
Yeah. You're hearing this, ladies. You know.
All two of you.
yeah. All two of you female listeners. You haven't stayed listening for this long, but if you have, just by accident, your boy's here. I've been on 2 Bumble dates. They are so weird. Like, with the rules and stuff. Like, you walk up and the first thing you do is like, oh, what? Are you, because if you've got a face mask on, you're like, I'll say, you're Danielle, yeah? And she goes, yeah. And then you go a walk.
Oh.
And that's it. And then I got invited over by one of the girls to like watch a film or whatever. And I was like, well,
or whatever.
Can't do that. So my choices were go break the rules, potentially get a terrible disease that might inflict others. Probably not going to do that.
And you also might catch COVID.
Daniela.
That is so funny, by the way. So, Rory, how successful have they been?
I've kept the safe 2 meters. Let's just
leave it at that.
Right.
I also dabbled in a little bit of online dating, but it really has gone no more successfully than online dating pre-COVID for me, because I am terrible at messaging people. I hate messaging people. I'm very much an in-person communicator. Like, really, the most precious time to me is when I'm face-to-face with people and can actually have a laugh and read their body language and like just have a good time with them. And I hate every alternative to that. I hate Zoom calls. I hate phone calls. I hate texting. Texting has to be the worst for me. I despise having to spend 10 minutes having a 2-minute conversation, because every time I reply to something, I need to think, no, I actually need to use like punctuation here. I need to form the sentence. I can't just let it roll off my tongue, and then I need to think about my replies, because it means so much more when it's down in text. Like, people forget what you say. When it's in text, they can reread it. Yeah. And I just despise it. So, like, no, I haven't been on any dates from Bumble or Tinder or anything like that. Or Hinge, the more serious of the group.
The other thing communications made kind of difficult is jobs, because we're all slightly different stages of that. So Ryan and Kris, you guys had yours kind of lined up already. So you guys started COVID.
Yeah, so like a bit of background on that. So Kris and I were applying for jobs for graduate schemes in like the end of 2019. So like October, November time. Went through the recruitment process before March 2020 and got the job offers to start in September 2020. So we were very, very, very fortunate with timing and opportunities and whatnot to be able to have that sorted before everything fell apart, I suppose.
Big time. Even like having like secure industries that we get into, like, because I know a lot of people who were in the same boat as us, got things confirmed, and then their company turned back round to them, were like, we're really sorry, we don't have enough money, but we hope we find something.
It was different for Jack and I. We had to find something in a world that was not hiring.
And a world that was not welcoming to people who did not already have 25 plus years experience.
Yeah. And so what was your experience then? Like the timeline of graduating to like now?
So graduated, air quotes, graduated in May. And then June and July, Katie was here and I was pretty distracted. August, Katie left. I didn't do anything. September, October, November, I was part-time at the hospitality place that I worked in my hometown. And that was, like, I say part-time, like I was employed part-time on a 0-hour contract, but it was so busy because that was the kind of when the peak started again. And the eat out to help out thing as well, that was like massive. So
insane.
Yeah, so it was good. I was making money, but I was still constantly looking and just nothing was happening. And then the job that I have just recently started kind of fell into my lap because someone from uni said I was going to apply, but it actually is not going to work out. Do you want to do it? And I applied on a whim, and the recruiter phoned me and said, "You're perfect. When can you start?"
Cool.
Which was big stroke of luck.
Chris, what did you think it was like starting a job that you necessarily weren't allowed to go into?
Well, it was actually different for me because of the industry I'm in. I'm in manufacturing, so I'm on the manufacturing floor for what's considered an essential product. So we all need to go in. Like, my factory didn't shut down at all during COVID. We haven't furloughed anyone. We haven't stopped at all. If anything, we've actually seen a massive increase in sales, and our productions just went through the roof.
Yeah.
And it has done since March. So during the first pandemic, the first lockdown and everything, we were the people in my factory were just on it all the time. It was really all go for them. So in that sense, it was quite nice. I had a different experience from, say, Ryan, because I know Ryan did a lot of working from home.
Yeah, so it was. So firstly, I got the job offer. Then COVID happened, and I was like, "Oh my god, do I still have a job?" And they were like, "Yeah, you still have a job." And it was sort of just like radio silence. So I kind of went from March till September, just in the back of my mind, maybe I don't have a job. Maybe I should be looking for something else. But everything's fine. I started in September. Things were okay then because cases were not too awful. All the bars and whatnot were open. And I had to move away from home, move down to England. And I was in the office for the first month or so. The first couple of weeks I was in doing training, met loads of people. The office was still pretty empty, except from manufacturing people. But I work in R&D. And after that, basically, they were like, everyone that doesn't need to be here, just do not come in. And I was like, oh, because I was living in temporary accommodation because I moved to a city that I'd never been to before during COVID to start a brand new job, during this mad situation. And then I didn't know anything about the city, so I stayed in an Airbnb for a month in a shared house. There was 5-6 bedrooms with random people in it. And it was a bit of a weird situation. And so they were like, "Oh, you need to work from home." And I was like, I can't really work from home because the only thing that I have access to is a bed. I can't really just sit on the bed all day. Kind of bad. And they're like, "Oh, what about a kitchen table?" And I had a shared kitchen with people coming and going all day. But also the chairs for the kitchen table were camping chairs.
Oh my
they were
god.
fold up fabric camping chairs. I was like, this is
great
bad.
Lumbar support, those. Great lumbar support.
Moved into a different flat and worked from home there for a while. But now, pretty much until these crazy restrictions end, I'm back in Scotland with the fam. The main issue is joining a team, especially a sort of engineering team where questions need to be asked constantly about various different things. And everyone else in the team has worked together in person previously, so they all have these sort of good relationships, loads of banter, whatnot. And you sort of join, and they've never met you before. I met a couple of them briefly in my first couple of weeks, but there's 10 people in the team, and they just know you as a face on a TV, on a screen, a voice from Microsoft Teams. It's so hard to build working relationships and friendly relationships with people that you've never met in person or been able to chat to informally, because it's all work-based things that we interact through. It's so robotic. And I think as time goes forward, people are sort of the impression that, working from home is fine. We've got quizzes and we've got teams and whatnot, but these are teams that existed pre-COVID, that are transitioning to COVID or post-COVID times. But what happens when these teams over time transition and the team is made up of people that I've never met in real life? The synergy and productivity is just got to drastically go down, and that's something we don't have data points for yet.
I will be so interested to see some of the studies and, like you say, like data points and stuff that emerge as a result of this pandemic. And like in 15 years, we'll look back and be like the biggest slump in productivity and the highest peak in like, I don't know, like insomnia
Netflix.
or something crazy. Yeah, Netflix, things like that. It's going to be like...
Insomnia is a bad one because you're not exercising throughout the day. So it's harder to sleep at night.
Yeah, it's been like a one saving grace for me is that like I've not had that. I have been able to like form relationships with people in work and like just get general chit chat. You don't get chit chat over just Teams meetings.
You don't.
Like just being able to like walk down and like chat to folk like in the production and be like, oh, what are you up to? And then like they hear my accent because I'm down in England as well. I'm down close to London, and like you'll get chatting to people and they'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I did this road trip to Scotland, and you just chat away to them for ages about it. And I love that. Like it's really nice to build those relationships.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's the outside of work side of the pandemic that's been the bit that's hit me the most. And I think like there's always hard bits with that when people start new jobs, like especially if you leave the nest, if you like move country and stuff, because it's quite a well documented thing, like in TV shows and films and all that, but like empty nest syndrome for your parents, and then obviously like the kid always has like leaving the nest syndrome and all that kind of stuff. But like I've found that difficult, and anytime I've like googled how to cope with it, or like just advice people have got for it, it's like when you move to a new city, it's so important that you get out and explore and meet new people. And I'm like, can't do that. Cool.
That is just not what you want to be reading these days, is
it's
it?
like a big 10-point list off BuzzFeed that's like, if you move to a new city, here's all the things you should do. And other than go sightseeing around my local neighbourhood, I can't do any of them.
Oh man.
Obviously, all of us have just kind of explained some things we find a little bit difficult about all this, or things that might not be the best thing, or things that might be a struggle personally. But I don't know about you, but I quite like to end stuff on a high note, you know? There's always a light in the tunnel. There's always something to look forward to. There's always a silver lining. If you've ever watched the Stuart Little films, you know that there's a silver lining, all right? Little high, little low, little hey, little ho.
Oh, what a movie! What a line from the movie, actually.
That is a great movie. Childhood
Little
summed
high,
up.
little ho.
Little hey, little ho.
Really quick to kind of round us up in our discussion, I want to go one by one and just really quick give either something like a positive that's come out of all this stuff, or something that you're looking forward to.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with, you know, my favorite co-host, Ryan.
Oh, I was hoping I would get a little bit of time to think about that.
Nah, on the spot.
I'm looking forward to the summer when things are going to be like, I'm imagining, you know how when World War II ended and then everyone was absolutely buzzing out their dish and then they went out and partied and the mood was so high. Or like during the World Cup summer of 2016, I think is the one I remember. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming home. During the World Cup summer, where the UK had just like a beautiful sunny summer and there was a World Cup game on every single day. Wait.
Oh, it was 2018.
It's 2018.
Yeah, it was 2018.
What are you talking about, Rory? 2012 having a World Cup. Everyone's mood was just fantastic and everybody was happy, you know? And see when society is happy, everywhere you go, there's just like good energy, you know? I'm so excited for positivity to be circling around the world again and to be able to have a conversation this summer about how good things are going, which I'm very hopeful for. And also the long days. Love that.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
I think on a similar note, I am really looking forward to herd immunity via the vaccine, but ipso facto, I'm looking forward to 0 travel bans and I get to go to a different country.
Oh, yes, baby.
I just like really caught the travel bug after studying abroad, and I was looking forward to going and like seeing different parts of the world.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing that again. And the adventure of travel and like not knowing where you are and not knowing anybody. And like,
I just want someone to say something to me that I don't have a fucking clue what they're saying.
Come to Essex, mate.
Funny.
So, travel for you, Jack. Kris, what's your silver lining?
I cannot wait for a dance floor.
Oh.
So this popped into my head the other day because it's a very Scottish song to have on at family parties. Do you know Shang-a-Lang?
Oh,
So-
yes.
Shang-a-lang come on, it was Shang-a-lang. And I instantly just get transported to like my Auntie Susan's 40th. Like, every day steaming on the dance floor. Jump my boot. And I was like, that. Like, I was, as you guys would probably confirm, I was not one to pass up a dance floor at the best of times. But next time there is a hall party, I cannot wait for the next family or friend big hall party where everybody's up on the dance floor doing the slosh and the cha-cha slide and the Macarena.
Cha-cha
See, when
slide.
you hear da 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 da, you just get straight up, don't you?
I can't wait. And the amount of times I have sat and watched us doing the slosh at that Kaylee before lockdown. Because I'm like, that was the last time we got like it fills me with so much joy watching that video of us just dancing about to, that guy even did it to Brown Eyed Girl for the Kaylee band and it worked really well there as well. But that's what I am really looking forward to. Just like, because I think it epitomes everything. Like, I can't wait to be close with all my family and my friends in one big hall. And graduation for the same thing.
If and when.
I'm a little bit different. I'm going to go for a positive during all this stuff. I got to start a podcast with my good friend Ryan, and I'm having a ball making it. And I love having people on. I love doing all the editing. We've got mics, and it makes me feel special. Honestly, it's been like one thing to look forward to every week. It's just sitting down and
I
recording.
totally agree with you, mate. 100%. It's just an outlet, isn't it?
Yeah, because we wanted to make something. We picked the thing and we did it.
Yeah.
And no matter who listens to it, no matter how many streams it gets, no matter what we think of the episode, we sit down, we do it, and it's something to make and it's something good. And it's the silver lining for me of all that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's been
A pleasure to have you
gonna
both.
Yeah, thank
No one
you.
will-
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
no one will know after the edit. Been chaotic, but it's been lovely. From all of us at the Idiots Anonymous podcast, stay safe, keep your distance, adhere to the rules. We'll get through it. Thanks for listening, guys.
Peace out.
Goodbye.
Cheers, guys.
Take care, everyone. Bye.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I was in San Francisco, did a medical device internship with a startup company in San Francisco.
Wow, Morty.
I'll not take it into the toilet so Ray doesn't eat edit me out peeing.
He'll be alright. This guy, man.
Connection issues.
I just heard, hey, a millionaire overnight.
Pie, beans, pie, beans.